We couldn't return them to China. We knew what had happened to the last time a Uyghur was returned to China, which was not a United States return, but another country had a Uyghur and returned them to China. And he got off the airplane and they conducted his trial at the bottom of the steps and they executed him on the tarmac. So we had very serious, genuine persecution concerns about the Uyghurs, and we knew that China was not an option. We could not send the individuals back to China. So where were you going to send them? Where would you put them? And one of the places was possibly resettlement in the United States that was looked at. But the question that I think ultimately got decision makers hung up on is the very one that you asked. The Uyghurs went to Tora Bora to be trained as terrorists, but their fight is against the Chinese. They want to continue their terrorist attacks back in China against the Chinese, not against the United States. But if you have a trained terrorist, one, he didn't meet the code, the laws that had just been passed after 9/11. You had boxes you had to check, and one of them was, have you ever been to a terrorist training camp? Yes, okay, you don't come to the United States. You need a waiver for that box now because they would check yes for that box. So you need a waiver. Well, if you get a waiver, you have to ask what threat do they represent. To the United States directly, no threat. But if they decide to conduct an operation to blow up the Chinese consulate in New York City, and they take down the apartment building next to it and kill 1,100 New Yorkers, who wants to be the senior policymaker to raise their hand and say, I thought it was a good idea to bring them here to the United States? Or if they decide to ambush the Chinese ambassador in a gun battle and try to execute him in the streets of DC and shoot up his limousine, and bystanders are killed, who wants to be the person that raises their hand? And I think that question and the inability to say from a policy perspective, from a senior policy political perspective, I'm okay with that threat, I'm willing to take that chance, is ultimately what led to the United States never actually admitting any of the Uyghurs.